You know, we have to, as much compassion as we have for other people, we need to give that to ourselves. Because more times than not, we are our biggest critics. We are our biggest, well, you shouldn't have done that. You ruined everything because you said this one thing. I mean, we get, and then we beat ourselves up. And again, that comes to more resentments and a self hatred and a self loathing. And it's when we're stuck in that deep thought process of that, that's when we hurt others.
Mm-hmm.
Not meaning to, but when we can't forgive ourselves, it comes out in how we treat every person around us. And
Yeah.
if you have kids, that's what you're teaching your kids. Now instead of it just being your own self-critical voice, you know, that's what you're feeding into your kids. And now when they think of you, that's what they're going to hear. And it's this, yeah, like you were saying, hurt people. And if you can't forgive yourself, you're hurting yourself.
What Jen said was gonna pretty much what I was gonna lead into, kind of where you touched on it, but go just a little bit deeper there, right? So forgiving ourselves, right? Like if we do not have the capacity to forgive ourselves, then we don't have the true capacity to forgive someone else. You can't give away what you don't have. So if you don't have forgiveness in your heart, if you say your forgiveness isn't genuine or authentic, it's more, yeah, I forgive him, but you don't. You're holding that grudge silently to yourself, and it's poisoning everything you do, your thinking, your behaviors, and whatnot. It is definitely to forgive yourself, I think, is first and foremost. Not saying, not saying like if something bad happens to you that you need to be, oh, I forgive myself for allowing this to happen. Not saying that. I'm saying that inside of us, nobody's perfect as far as people make mistakes. Yes, mistakes are different levels. There's heinous crimes, and there are just telling a lie, making up something about somebody else, right? But in each case, like it takes forgiveness. And so, like, let's say once upon a time, let's say I made up, I'm sure I did at some point in my life, made up some bullshit about somebody else and spread a rumor, right? Not giving two craps what it does to that other person, meaning I know that's outside in, but not caring what they think when it gets back to them, how they take that in and internalize it. So the whole point there is like, if I can't now, too, especially in the awareness that I have forgiveness for any actions that I've done, innocently or not innocently, then I cannot expect to have the capacity to extend that forgiveness to somebody else. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Does, but so mine was a bit different. So I found that the more I forgave other people, the more I forgave myself. So I know I'm quite often the opposite way round from everything else, but yeah, because obviously like I went through this stage where I forgave. I I don't know if it's that case. I think maybe I just felt real forgiveness. Maybe that was it. I just when I forgave him, I felt the real power of forgiveness, and then that was maybe just like a ripple effect of everything else. I think once I felt that, everything was easier. But yeah, it was weird because I forgave him, and then I forgave other people, And then it naturally flowed that I had nothing to forgive for myself because there was nothing to forgive. You know, it gone. And okay, so I did find this forgiveness thing, and I'll read it out because I thought it was really quite powerful. But forgiveness isn't something you do. It's what naturally happens when you see that the hurt you're holding on to is made of thought, not reality. When you realize the pain, resentment, or betrayal you're replaying is being kept alive by your current thinking, not by the event itself, it begins to dissolve on its own. There's nothing to forgive when you see that the other person, just like you, was acting from their own misunderstanding of life, trapped in their own thought created illusion. And Sydney Banks once said, the moment you see that both you and they were living in a thought created reality, compassion replaces resentment and forgiveness is no longer needed. And I feel like I felt that forgiveness was no longer needed. Like it just wasn't needed. There's no other words to say it.